Yo, what's going on, world? This is your boy, Coach Ken, man. Transformational coaching, right? So listen. I'm super excited about the episode today, in this teaching moment because I feel like it's so necessary in today's time and in today's culture, right? Today, I'm going to be talking to you about healing. And the reason why I'm talking to you about healing, because I don't want your money. And I don't just work with people for the money, right? I could give you all the resources to live successful and to talk about greatness and to talk about all of those things. But that is only a temporary fix. Because if you're going to get coaching and you're going to have dreams and vision, what good is having dreams and vision if you haven't gone through that healing process? The success that you will have on that journey is only temporary. And I don't want you to do like I did and spend your life on an emotional roller coaster because you was afraid to do the healing process. And you was afraid to go through the hard times and dig out the hard junk in your life and change. And so tonight, we're talking about this because I feel that it's so important in order for you to move forward. Whatever that dream is that God has given you, what I'm going to tell you is, if you don't go through the healing process, you are going to make that journey a lot harder for yourself. And so we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about 3 things that you need to do to go through your healing journey. Let's get into it. All right. So look, the first thing that you're going to have to do is that you're going to have to get to the roots. You see, everybody in life loves to get to the branches. And it's easy for me to point out the branches in your life, right? The addiction, the lies, the trauma, the relationship issues, the insecurities, the anger, all of the things that is easy for us to see from the outside. But problems and addiction and pain and trauma doesn't start just on the outside. There's these things called roots. I often like to use the analogy, what happens when you plant a seed? What happens? Well, let me tell you what happens when you plant a seed. The seed is planted in the ground, is watered, and it begins to grow. But the truth is, the tree grows down first, and those things are called roots. So the stuff that you see displaying in your life, causing you not to live your dream, not to live your purpose, not to overcome, it's not the branches, right? That's just a side effect to what's really going on internally. And so when you think about healing, I need you to go to the roots in your life. I need you to figure out what are the roots. When I'm working with people, what I often do when I send them the packet to fill out is I said, tell me your life from birth to where you are now. And as you go through that journey of telling me that, I want you to point out those pain points when you was a kid, when you were in elementary, middle school, and high school. Because here's what I can tell you. If you never dealt with them, they're still rolling their heads in your adult life. And I want you to be able to overcome. So we got to dig. When it comes to healing, you have to get to the roots. If you don't get to the roots, they will continue to grow. And they will continue to be roadblocks in your life. You ask me how I know? I've been there. I should be further ahead in my life than where I am right now. But I'm not. Because I was afraid of the roots. I was afraid to look myself in the mirror and say, man, you were broken. You were messed up. I didn't want to fix it because I was comfortable in my pain. But what good is it you becoming a millionaire? What good is it you becoming a father, a mother, a CEO, a leader, and yet you still got all this stuff in you that you're not dealing with? It's only a matter of time before you crash and continue to ride the roller coaster of life. So that dream that you got, that vision that you got, if you're ready to live that, then what I need you to do is then get to the roots. Secondly, after getting to the roots, we have to go through this forgiveness process. Uh-oh, he talking about that F word. Listen, forgiveness does not mean that you have to have a relationship with the people that hurt you, right? Forgiveness really isn't about them. It's about you. What forgiveness is letting them know that I'm forgiving you for causing these roots in my life. So that way I can now plant new seeds in new soil and begin to grow and become the person I was created to be. Forgiveness has nothing to do with them and everything to do with you. And the truth is, it's going to be a journey. Because as I just said that, many of you watching this video, you just closed up. I ain't forgiving them for what they did to me, right? I ain't talking to them for what they did to me. What they did to me was wrong. And here's the drill. You are 100% right. But at the same time, there's a forgiveness that has to happen if you are going to go on and live this life of freedom, right? The story that I always like to share is, I remember one summer I was doing this internship and I was outside, I was weed eating, feeding the horses. And I just had this thing come over me that said, man, you have to go forgive your mom. Like as a kid, I hated my mom. I blamed her for everything that I had to go through, for all the situations she put me in and all of the struggles. And it wasn't all on her, right? But as a kid, I blamed her. I went in to talk to this amazing family called the Durhams. They were hosting me that summer. And with no hesitation, they gave me the keys to the car and said, yeah, go. I drove home. I'm shaking, y'all. I'm scared. I see my mom. I asked her if we can go somewhere and talk. We did. And I wanted to let her know that I forgive her for all the hurtful things that I said, all the hurtful things that I did. But I also needed to forgive her for the things that I felt she allowed to happen to me. What I didn't know was that a year and a half later, my mom would pass away. But that year and a half, I actually got to talk to my mom on the phone. I actually got to go home, put my arms around her. And I actually got to see her for who she was and not get to see her for the pain and the hurt that she had already caused me in my life. One of the most amazing times of my life, y'all. But I would not be where I am today if I would have never walked across that bridge of forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't about them. It's about you. And the easiest way to release those negative roots in your life is to forgive. But it's not about forgiving just the people that hurt you. It's also about forgiving yourself. Because there's a saying, right? Hurt people hurt people. Because you were hurt, you hurt other people. You have to go through a journey of learning what it's like to forgive yourself. Because there's some stuff you carry because of things that you did. Like you have to get to a point to where you believe you deserve a second chance. And maybe the reason why you haven't taken that jump yet in that business adventure, that relationship, or wherever you are, is because you're still holding on to things that you've done that you haven't forgiven you about. I'm not saying the people that you hurt are going to come and say, man, I'm glad you living good. I'm glad things are good. Like they may hate you for the rest of their life. That's their journey. But just because they don't like you and they hate you doesn't mean you got to carry all that guilt and shame for the rest of your life. Right? You did what you did. Now forgive. And ask for forgiveness. Right? So we talked about getting to the root, going through this forgiveness process. The third thing that is key in the healing journey is the letting go of it all and embracing the new you. It is one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do. And it's still hard sometimes if I'm transparent. I look at my life now and I say to myself, I can't believe I lived the life that I live. when I take a look back at everything that I've done and everything that I've gone through, y'all. But at the same time, I don't have to carry it anymore. Like, I get an opportunity to fully live this thing out every single day and to live it to the fullest. I was given a second chance. You was given a second chance, third chance, fourth chance, fifth chance, 10th chance for a reason. And don't allow the things that you've done or the things that have been done to you to hold you back. Live it. Speak to it. So when you're alone and those thoughts are running through your mind, what I need you to do is say, yeah, you're right. But that ain't me no more. Look at me now. Right? Look what God has done. Like, look where I'm going. You got to live that thing out. Live that positive. Be positive. Go after your dreams. Go after your goals. Don't allow it to stop you. Learn what it's like to walk in freedom. You've been bound by these chains for way too long. And now it's time for you to live it. Right? I remember being, in my rapping days, but I wrote a song called True Freedom. But it's like, true freedom only comes when we let go and let God have total control. How can we be set free if we're not willing to let it go and let God have total control? So let it go. And that song stemmed from this analogy that popped in my head one day, right? You remember being in elementary school and we used to play that game tug of war? And you wanted your class to win because you knew that you would get those bragging rights? And you had two teams on each end of the rope? Y'all remember that game? But imagine playing tug of war with your past. Like, you here and your past is on the other side of the rope. And many of us have been playing tug of war with that thing for a very long time. For several reasons. One, we're afraid to let it go because we became comfortable with it. And we don't know what it's like to live outside of our pain. Number two, we hold on to it because we're afraid of the unknown. So what are we going to do now? We're here. The truth is, the way that you win the battle is just simply letting go the rope. And when you let go the rope, all of that stuff begins to fall down and fall away. And you walk away from it. Like, imagine if I told you I'm going to give you $1 million right now. You can go anywhere in the world you want to. You can start your business. You can grow. You can live. You can thrive. You can live your dream. But the only way you're going to be able to get that $1 million is if you take that drive and you do that driving and looking through the rearview mirror. None of us going to make it to that destination. There's nothing wrong with checking every day, now and then, and realizing like, yeah, I'm here because of this, right? But at the same time, like, your future is forward. And so what I need you to do is to begin to look forward, man. I need you to let those things go and walk in that freedom. So how do you heal? Acknowledge those things and get to the roots. After you see those roots and what's exposed, go through that forgiveness process. And it's a hard process. I ain't telling you it's easy. And then after you do that, I need you to live it. Like, live and act like you brand new now. They gonna hate. They gonna remember your past. But they gonna also see you overcome it. And they also gonna see you shine. And that's what I want you to focus on. And that's where I want you to go with your life. Man, you got this. Like, you got this. Right? So get to the root, forgive, and live that thing out. Live out the new you. Look, thank you for tuning in today. I hope these few minutes fuels you to want to get rid of the old things so that way you can become and live and be the person that you was created to be. Man, we're on this transformational living thing and we about to get that, all right? So keep pushing, keep fighting. You done came too far to give up now.